Hey guys, Coach Nick here with the 10-0 Mindset, where my goal is to provide you with all of the tools, resources, and support that you need to create happier, healthier gymnastics. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. This episode is going to be our final episode in our mental toughness series for now, and it's going to cover the third key attribute to mental toughness: focus. So what is focus? You may already have a little bit of an idea, but focus is characterized by thinking clearly and in the present moment, concentrating on the task at hand, ignoring internal and external distractions, and regaining mental control following unexpected, uncontrollable events. A mentally tough athlete who demonstrates focus has an intense ability to be so engrossed in his or her performance that nothing else matters. It's important to recognize that sometimes there are factors that can detract from that focus. We're going to talk about those factors first. Keep in mind that mentally tough athletes are able to control these factors and reduce their impact at will. The first factor that can detract from your focus as a gymnast is performance worries. Performance worries are distracting thoughts related to worry and negative self-evaluation over performance and competition. For example, athletes distracted by these thoughts during a competition might think about previous mistakes that they've made, having a bad day prior, or not being able to win. The second detractor are irrelevant thoughts. These thoughts are not related to performance or the execution of the task in a constructive way. For example, athletes distracted by these thoughts during a competition might think about other people, such as their friends, what they're going to do later in the day, or personal issues unrelated to gymnastics. The third common detractor we see are thoughts of escape. Simply put, these are thoughts related to not wanting to participate or wanting to withdraw from competition. For example, athletes distracted by these thoughts during a competition might think about quitting, about being fed up with the competition, or not wanting to get out there at all. Now that we've covered some common distractions that pull away from our focus, let's cover some ideas of what mentally tough athletes do look like when they focus in gymnastics. Mentally tough athletes exhibit these following traits. They focus on the present moment of competition and on successes, not on failures from previous moments or worries about future performances or outcomes. They know what is important to pay attention to during each part of their gymnastics performance. They know how to shift or maintain their attention to what is important and to block out internal and external distractions. They know how to reestablish focus when it's lost. They have a specific, consistent routine before performances that prepares them mentally and physically. They balance their life as an athlete and as a whole person. They use each performance as a learning experience for the future. They find fun and enjoyment in gymnastics participation. They know that they have limited control of what goes on around them, but that they have total control of how they respond. They know that mistakes and setbacks will occur and have a plan to compensate and adjust. They are aware that emotions are a normal part of gymnastics, and that these emotions at optimal levels can facilitate good performances. They know how to control emotions when they are too strong and could impede performance. I know, that's a lot, but it's important to understand exactly what a strong, focused gymnast is if we're ever going to become one ourselves. Over the next few minutes, we're going to discuss some strategies for really refining our focus and making sure that we're present, in the moment, and ready to perform. The first and possibly most important strategy that we have for focus is imagery or visualization. We use imagery for a ton of different reasons. There are different times that we can use imagery as well. For example, you can use imagery before and after practices, before and after competitions, during competitions between events, during your own time away from the gym, or when recovering from an injury. In this case, we're using imagery for self-confidence, stress management, and attentional focusing. Let's cover 10 tips on how to use imagery effectively. Number 1, use all of your senses. See vivid color, hear sounds, smell smells, feel the air around you, and how your body feels as you imagine your best gymnastics. Number 2, develop control of your imagery. It requires consistent practice, but we want to develop control of our imagery so that we can visualize positive outcomes and make them happen. Number 3, use internal and external imagery. Internal imagery is when you see what you would see if you were looking out of your own eyes, whereas external imagery is what you would see if you were watching yourself on a video monitor or television screen. Number 4, practice imagery regularly. Just like anything else, imagery only gets better with practice. Number 5, practice imagery in a relaxed state. We want to be relaxed when we use imagery. That way, we can have the most control over it that we need to create positive outcomes. Number 6, develop coping strategies through imagery. This is a big one. In your mind, practice dealing positively with mistakes and the unexpected before it happens. Number 7, use cues or triggers to help your imagery rehearsal. You can use cue words or other reminders, such as music or counts, when you're using imagery. Number 8, practice kinesthetic imagery. This means actually feeling the movements and actions in your body when you're using imagery. Number 9, imagine in real time. Take the same amount of time to do imagery that it takes you to do the actual skill or routine that you're imagining. The only exception is if you're having a tough time seeing your desired outcome. Then you can try imagery in super slow-mo or frame by frame until everything looks right. Then you can work to speed it back up. Number 10, use imagery logs. Keep a log when you use imagery of the amount of time, what you imagined, and how successful it was. A second strategy that you can use to improve your focus is to practice working through distractions. We already talked about some potential distractions, which prevent you from following through with your plan of action. Distractions, however, can be minimized if you 1, are aware that they exist, and 2, commit to handling them in a productive manner. Let's go over a list of productive ways that you can cope with distractions. Remember that you can't avoid distractions completely, so how you choose to deal with distractions is crucial. You could repeat your gymnastics goals to yourself. You could focus on positive self-talk. You could concentrate on the reasons that you want to succeed. You could take a break and return to the action. You could count to 10 and attempt the action again, or even leave the situation altogether. You could allow another person to handle the distraction for you, or you could see the situation as a temporary distraction that you can ignore. Think of some other healthy ways that you can cope with the distractions around you. Which do you feel could potentially help you? The final strategy that we're going to cover in today's episode is a quick 10-second relaxation break. You can use this break whenever you're feeling irritated, stressed, or distracted, and you need to refocus yourself. The first step is to smile, whether you want to or not, and to say to yourself, I do not need this stress or irritation or distraction. Then, take a slow, deep belly breath. Count to 4 slowly on the inhale, and count to 4 slowly on the exhale. Take a second deep belly breath. Close your eyes at the top of the inhale. As you exhale, imagine something warm entering your body at your head, and flowing down into your hands and feet. Heaviness and warmth are flowing in. Think to yourself, I am calm, and then open your eyes. Focus is the third key attribute, in addition to motivation and confidence, that helps keep you mentally tough and ready to overcome obstacles and setbacks that may be in your path. The great news is that you now have some additional tools and strategies to help overcome those obstacles. You're a new gymnast now, one who can overcome anything with poise and grace. I hope that this mental toughness series has helped you learn some things that you can put into practice in and out of the gym that will help you create more consistent and productive gymnastics. I believe in you, and don't forget that there's nothing that you can't do.